Hi, Kenny here. Today is valve clearance adjustment day. I was diving through my manual and I noticed that I'm headed up to about 7,800 kilometers without having to check my valves. And I wanted to kind of do this before the 10,000, just to be a little bit early, kind of see where things are going. So I've got my fuel tank over here. I've taken out I think it's the thing that powers the spark plugs. I've got my spark plug down there, and I'm just about to take the cover off, but I want to make a few mental notes here. This is here just to hold some of the extra cable that's hanging off of here. These clips are surprisingly so far the hardest thing, and wasn't aware, and I was trying different things to kind of get them unhooked. Obviously, you see a lot of manuals, YouTubes on how to do all of this, so I'm going to go ahead. I've been following a couple, but one thing I want to make note is if you're unloosening some of these bolts, take time and pay attention to how tight they were, just as a feel, so you get to kind of know how they should go back on if you aren't using a torque wrench or aren't too concerned with torque specs. Okay, so this is how it looks. Hopefully it takes another hour, but I'll give you an idea of how much time it took for me to do this for the very first time. Another mental note I want to make now is if you disconnect your fuel line, try to make and keep this upright, because I just bonked it, I knocked it, and I had a bunch of fuel coming out of here. I'm going to tidy this up and make sure that line does not drop. I will probably put a zip tie up here to make sure that it doesn't drain back down. But you don't want any fuel getting into this. I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, I've cleaned up my fuel tank here, wiped it down. And the way I'm going to take this top cover off is I'm going to put a wrench between my dirty rag and just pop that up. Okay, I just want to make a quick note here on finding top dead center. The little circle there, when that circle is up centered at the very top, that's your top dead center. As you can see right now in this picture, this is not top dead center. The one thing I do want to mention to you who are looking to do this is that to find that top dead center, the way I did it was I rotated my back wheel, and that force of pushing that wheel is not always consistent. So it could be a little bit tricky to get that top dead center, because you might have to push harder at certain points of the tire rotation. The easier way would have involved me just getting to the cover and turning the engine from underneath this assembly. However, I just did not have the hex Allen size that was that big to take the cover off. So that's the only thing there. And also, I want to make a mental note here. There's a little bit of that murky yellowish stuff underneath my valve spring. If you have any idea what that is, I don't know if it's rust. I didn't clean it. I didn't want to risk, getting anything further down the chamber. So if that looks normal to you, if you have any idea what that is, please let me know. Thanks. Okay, so I've got everything in. Valve is adjusted. I haven't put the seat or the cover on yet, but everything's back in. I hope all the wiring's in. I'm gonna start it up and see what she sounds like. That all sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds really good. There you go. That's the valve clearance adjustment. Took me about just a little over 2 hours. Gonna finish putting everything back together and take it for a spin. Okay, so just to kind of give you a quick, like a roundup of what went down. Essentially, the valve back here, still kind of toasty from coming back in from the ride. The intake valve, the one that's back here, was spot on, 0.08 millimeters. No issues there. And I didn't even touch it. The exhaust was a little bit tight. So the exhaust, the front end valve, was a little bit tight, and I ended up loosening it a bit. And the tolerance, I believe, there is 0.18 millimeters. I had a feeler gauge in there, testing it out. The one thing I did, and this is a self-critique really, was that I did not have the exact feeler gauges. Like I didn't have the 0.08 for the front. I didn't have the 0.18 for the exhaust. So what I did was I used 0.20 for the exhaust end of things. I used 0.20, and the feeler didn't go in, but I used a 0.15 and made sure that was snug. Like it had a good pull on it. So I figured that would be get me somewhere in the ballpark. And it seems to be working okay. If you feel like I'm totally off and I really should be more exact, let me know. Same with the intake. I basically did a 0.05, and that slid in fine. That gap was there. And then I went up to a 0.10 and made sure that was not able to go in. So I figured that gave me kind of the roughly close enough to that 0.08 gap that I had to have. Again, like I got a feeler gauge, and I just didn't have those measurements in the feeler gauges. But it seems to be running okay. If you feel like that's not appropriate, or that's my own little self-critique after doing all this. If you feel like that's the wrong way to go about it, let me know. Thanks. Bye-bye.